Imagine this. You've saved every dollar you could for years. You sold your car, borrowed from family, worked 2 jobs, and finally scraped together enough money to chase the dream of a better life in America. But then, just as you're about to get your visa, someone tells you, pay $15,000 or you don't go. That's not a scam. That's not a rumor. That's happening right now. And it's not just affecting criminals or people with bad intentions. It's happening to regular, hard-working people, students, workers, families, all trying to do the right thing. The United States government, under the direction of the Trump administration, is now expanding a controversial program called visa bonds. And for the first time, it's targeting African nationals in a big way. That means thousands of people who thought they were on the path to a visa, to a green card, to a new life, are now being told they have to pay a huge cash bond just to even get a chance. If they can't pay, they're denied. No appeal, no second chance, just gone. This is not just about money. This is about people's futures. This is about families being split apart. This is about dreams being crushed. Not because someone broke the law, but because they couldn't come up with $15,000 in cash on demand. And the worst part? This policy is expanding. It didn't start with everyone. It started small. But now it's growing, and if you think it can't happen to you, you need to listen very carefully, because this affects more people than you realize. I'm James, your trusted immigration expert from Immigration News Today. And today, we're diving deep into what visa bonds really are, why the Trump administration is bringing them back, and expanding them, why Africa is suddenly in the crosshairs, what this means for you, your family, your visa case, your green card process, even your citizenship plans, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your future in the United States. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a visa bond? A visa bond is not something you pay when you apply for a green card or citizenship. It's actually a financial guarantee, sometimes called a security deposit, that the U.S. government can now require certain visa applicants to post before they're even allowed to get a visa to come to the United States. Think of it like this. The government doesn't trust that you'll return to your home country after your visit, or that you won't overstay, or that you might become a public charge, someone who relies on government benefits. So instead of just denying your visa outright, they say, pay us $15,000. If you do what you're supposed to, you might get it back. If you don't, we keep it. Now, visa bonds aren't new. They've existed in some form for decades, but they were rarely used, mostly in extreme cases involving national security or suspected immigration fraud. But under the Trump administration, and now with renewed interest from certain officials pushing stricter immigration controls, visa bonds are coming back, and they're being used far more aggressively, especially against nationals from certain regions, particularly Africa. In recent months, reports have surfaced that the U.S. Embassy in countries like Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, and others have begun requiring high-risk visa applicants, especially those applying for tourist visas, student visas, or even business visas, to post bonds as high as $15,000, sometimes even more. These aren't random, they're targeted, and the reasoning, according to officials, is to prevent visa overstays and ensure that people return home after their authorized stay in the U.S. But let's be clear, this is not just about preventing overstays. This is about control. This is about keeping certain people out, not based on their individual circumstances, but based on where they're from, their nationality, and increasingly, their economic status. And here's what makes this so dangerous. Most people don't even know this is happening until it's too late. You think you're going through the normal visa interview process. You've got your documents ready, you've practiced your answers, you're ready to prove your ties to your home country, show your travel plans, explain why you'll return. But then, out of nowhere, the consular officer says, "We're requiring a visa bond. Can you pay $15,000 today? If you say no, or if you can't get that kind of money immediately, your visa is denied. Just like that. And the worst part? There's no formal appeal process for visa bond denials. You can't just call USCIS and say, "Hey, I was unfairly asked to pay this." You can't file an appeal online like you can with a green card denial or an RFE. That's a request for evidence in case you're not familiar. No. With visa bonds, it's often a one-time shot, one decision, one moment. And if you're not prepared, your entire immigration journey could be over before it even starts. Now, you might be thinking, but I'm not applying for a tourist visa. I'm applying for a green card. I'm already in the US on a visa. This doesn't affect me. Let me stop you right there because this issue goes deeper than you think, and its effects could ripple across the entire immigration system. First, let's talk about how this impacts people already in the United States. Even if you're not directly asked to pay a visa bond, the expansion of this policy signals a much bigger shift in how the US government views immigrants, especially those from Africa, Asia, and other developing regions. The message is clear. If you're poor, if you're from a certain part of the world, if you don't have immediate access to large amounts of cash, you're a higher risk. And that perception affects everything, from how quickly your green card case is processed, to whether you're flagged for additional scrutiny, to how likely you are to receive an RFE or even a notice of intent to deny. Take, for example, the Visa Bulletin, that monthly update from the Department of State that tells you where your priority date stands in the green card queue. If your case is being delayed or if your priority date isn't moving, part of the reason could be increased scrutiny, increased backlogs, and yes, increased bias in how certain cases are reviewed. When the government starts using tools like visa bonds to keep people out before they even arrive, you better believe that same mindset is influencing how they process cases for people already inside the US. And then there's the issue of public charge. You've probably heard that term before. It refers to someone who might rely on government assistance like food stamps, Medicaid, or housing support. Under current rules, if USCIS believes you're likely to become a public charge in the future, they can deny your green card application even if you're otherwise eligible. And guess what? The use of visa bonds is just another extension of that same mindset. We don't trust you to be self-sufficient. We don't trust you to follow the rules. We don't trust you, period. Now let's talk about what you can do, because the most important thing I can tell you right now is this: knowledge is power. If you know what's happening, you can prepare. You can protect yourself. You can fight back, not with anger, but with information, strategy, and the right steps. If you're applying for a visa, especially from an African country, and you're asked to attend an interview at the US Embassy or consulate, you need to be prepared for anything. That includes the possibility of being asked to post a visa bond. Now, in most cases, they won't just come out and say, "Pay us $15,000. They might say things like, "We're not convinced you'll return to your home country," or "We see a high risk of overstaying." That's when you need to stay calm. Provide strong evidence of ties to your home country, property ownership, family relationships, job commitments, enrollment letters. Anything that proves you have a reason to come back. But if they bring up a bond and they ask for money up front, do not panic. Do not agree to anything on the spot. Ask for clarification. Ask them to put the request in writing. Ask for the exact amount, the terms of the bond, and what happens if you pay it, and then comply with the terms. Remember, you have the right to understand what you're being asked to do. And if the request seems unfair, unreasonable, or discriminatory, document everything. Write down what was said. Get the names of the officers. Take notes. Because if this trend continues, there may come a time when legal challenges are possible, but only if we have the evidence. Now, if you're already in the United States, whether you're on a visa, you've applied for a green card, or you're working towards citizenship, you need to stay on top of your case status. Go to the official USCIS website. Use the Case Status Online tool. Enter your receipt number. Check your case updates regularly. If you receive a request for evidence, RFE, or worse, a notice of intent to deny, NOID, treat it like an emergency. Don't wait. Don't put it off. These notices have strict deadlines, usually 30 days or less, and if you miss them, your case could be denied, your green card could be refused, or worse, your legal status could be at risk. And if you're unsure about what to do, if you receive a complicated notice, or if you're being asked for documents you don't understand, or if you've been asked to attend an interview and you're scared because of your immigration history, please, do not try to handle it alone. I know legal help is expensive. I know it feels overwhelming. But the cost of a mistake, a missed deadline, a wrong answer, a missing document, can be far greater than the cost of getting professional advice. Find an accredited immigration attorney. Find a trusted nonprofit. Don't rely on Google. Don't trust random advice from Facebook groups. This is your life, your future, your family's future. Don't leave it to chance. Now, let's talk about advance parole, because this is another area where people are making dangerous mistakes. Advance parole is a document that allows certain immigrants, especially those with pending green card applications, to travel outside the United States and return without losing their status. But here's the catch. Not everyone is eligible. And if you travel without advance parole when you're not supposed to, you could trigger what's called a re-entry bar, which could lead to deportation, denial of your green card, or years of separation from your family. With all the confusion around travel right now, with visa bonds being used to restrict movement before people even get to the US, it's more important than ever to know your rights, know your status, and know exactly what you're allowed to do, and what could put you at risk. So, what's the bottom line? The expansion of visa bonds, especially targeting African nationals, is not just a policy change. It's a warning sign. It's a signal that the U.S. immigration system is becoming more restrictive, more unpredictable, and more financially discriminatory. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not taking action, if you're not staying informed, you could be the next person caught off guard. But here's the good news. You're watching this video. You're educating yourself. You're taking control, and that's the most powerful thing you can do. Because knowledge protects, information empowers, and when you know what's happening, you can fight back, not with anger, but with strategy, preparation, and the truth. If you found this video helpful, if you or someone you know is affected by these policies, please hit that like button. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Immigration News Today, because we're here every week, bringing you the latest updates, breaking news, and expert guidance on everything from visas to green cards to citizenship and beyond. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And most importantly, leave a comment below. Tell me what you want to see next. What's your biggest immigration question? What's your story? What do you need help with? Because together, we're not just watching the news. We're changing the conversation. We're protecting each other. And we're fighting for the American dream. The one that should be open to everyone who works hard, plays by the rules, and dares to hope for a better future. Stay informed, stay prepared, and most of all, stay safe. See you in the next video.